It is said when you chant the name of Lord Shiva and there's peace within you, that sound, that vibration, that energy that comes out, it is said that energy can destroy anything that comes negative before you. Umapati Mahadeva ki! Everybody tonight. Nama Om, Nama Om, Nama Om, Nama Om. एक बार Shiva Shankara Parameshwara Shashi Shekaraya Namo. A child at the age of 4, and Upamanyu is his name, and he has nothing to be happy with. He doesn't have the fancy toys. He doesn't have anything that could content his heart. But he walks outside and he sees some rocks and he plays with it. He's happy with that. Have you ever seen children? When they are children who are innocent and they are not attached to toys and television and technology, they sit down and whatever you give them, they are happy with that. We need to live happy just like that. That is eternal happiness, because they will not depend on happiness from outside but within. When we tend to depend on happiness on the outside, sometimes we are disappointed. Sometimes, my friends, we are let down. This child will sit and he will pray. When you see children, and you see children don't have anything, they will just sit and look around. And after 2 minutes, they will find something. I'm sure you take a child and put a child here right now, what they'll do? They'll look at the baby, they will pick up a flower, they might look at the deer, they might be tempted to touch the deer, they might see the flowers at the front of you, these nice flowers, they might try to pick one. They will see a leaf, they may try to pull a leaf. They will find something to become happy with, and when they get that happiness, you can't take it away from them. When they find that piece of joy, they won't let anything stop them from that joy and from themselves. When you find eternal peace like Lord Shiva gives, friends and bhaktas, as an innocent bhakta from the heart, there's nothing in the world that can replace it. The message says, while the child would play on the outside, wherever he finds, he will play with it. And while he was outside that day, his uncle came to the home, and his uncle dropped an invitation. He's saying to the family, to the mother, to the father, and to this child, I'm inviting you to my home into the village, for we are having a little function. We are having a prayer. I would like you to bring this child to this function so that he can see what it is to pray. He can learn how to pray. Do you know some of us don't even know how to pray? Do you know how to pray? What is a prayer? Where does prayer start from? How does it begin? It simply starts from the mind, Manas Puja. The mind will then reflect on the body. And when the body starts to now fall into the direction of prayer, it is said automatically, the discipline of devotion falls in place. When you walk in a yajna, you put the hands together. When you see a puja taking place, you put the hands together. When somebody says Sitaram, you put the hands together. When an auspicious or religious function is being held and you walk in, the hands are placed together. When God's name is being chanted, we don't just sit there, but we clap and we chant and we allow the voice to create energy. When we see religious activities taking place, the body is supposed to naturally curve into that direction. This child is taken into the home one day and he sees a function taking place. And now that man who had invited them, his uncle, he sees his cousin. When Upamanyu sees his cousin, what is his cousin doing? His cousin has a glass, and the glass is filled with something that is white. And he sees his cousin drinking that. What is there in the glass? There's milk inside there. And the cousin drinks the milk, and when he drinks it, Upamanyu looks and he says, Ma, wo kya hai? What is he drinking there? And when she took a peek, son, that's milk, don't worry about it. Ma, if he could get milk, why can't I get milk too? As a mother, she doesn't even have. As a mother, they're living in the midst of nothing. They're living in the middle of a forest. They don't even have cows. They have no means of getting what they have to live everyday life. Not everybody has everything. There are people who are struggling in the world today. There are people who are struggling physically, financially, and there are some who are now struggling emotionally and even spiritually. There are some who is wealthy and there are some who are rich physically. And they are definitely poor internally because they can't even find God and find truth. Mother says, son, don't worry. He looks at the child drinking the milk and he becomes jealous. How many people envy us? How many people are jealous of people? How many people look at what we have and they criticize us? How many people look at what we have and they judge us automatically? How many people only see us wear something one time? They don't know if we borrow it, But they see us with something one time and they are ready to become envious. So just recently, like 2-3 days ago, I took my van, so I had to take it to service. And while it was being serviced, I got a car to rent, to take for the moment. And I had to go to a puja. So when I pull up in the puja, first thing the guy said, Baba, way boy, different vehicle. Baba, big boy. Nobody knows your situation. Nobody knows the circumstance. Nobody knows anything about your life. But you know what? As we say it in today's world, and according to our Netya, people know your business more than you. They know your life more than you. Don't live for the world. Don't live for people, but live for yourself. Because at the end of it all, when we depart and when we leave everything behind, God looks at you and He says, what did you make of your life? Not what people gave to you or what anyone said to you, but what did you make of your life? We sacrificed to be where we are. Tonight, this wonderful family has sacrificed to do a yajna. We see the beauty of the yajna. We see sacrifice. We see cleanliness. We see an ambition to pray. While there are many who would look at God and cast Him aside, there are those who will sacrifice their life to make the best of what they want. Upamanyu looks at this child and he becomes jealous. Ma, if he has milk, I want to drink milk too. She said, don't worry now, come. And she held him by the hand and she pulled him aside. He's saying, Ma, where? Can you bring the milk for me? She says, son, come, it's time to go home. Organize, let's go home now. And according to the scripture, it is said, this child, he has that thirst. He wants milk to drink, but he didn't get anything to drink. In the world that we live in today, what will satiate our thirst? And what will take us out of this physical world? Isako pi kar और पिला कर इसको पी कर और पिला कर बन जा तू मतवाला 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 हरि नाम का प्यारा अरे पीले 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 हरि नाम का प्याला. What are you thirsting for? What should you thirst for? It is said, pile or piona means to drink. Are pile, 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 pile. What to drink? Harinam ka pyara. The name of God's love. The energy of God. Drink that, my friends, and that will energize your life for everything that you want. This year, the day has now begun. This moment has now begun. This time has now begun. And what would you do and what should you do with it? Thirst for the name of God. And when you get a glance and the infinite touch of God, you won't need anything else in this world. That child is taken home and he's now saying, Ma, can I get some milk to drink? Now the mother knows that she doesn't have anything. So you know what she does? She goes to the side of the house and she says, son, you sit down in the room and you wait 1 second, I'll bring milk for you. She don't have a cow. She don't have milk from nowhere. She doesn't know how to get it. You know what she does? She goes to the back of the home. There's a river. She takes a bucket and she picks up some of the water from the river. When she takes the water, she goes into the kitchen and she hides. And she takes some flour and she mixes the flour into the water so it's getting white in color now. And when she mixes the flour into the water, she takes some grains that she has at home and she starts to grind it now so that she could get the powder out of it. And she mixes it also into the water. And now the water looks whitish in color. And she's now saying now, this is milk that he has to understand. He never tasted it before. How would he know? She took a glass of it and she decided to take it for him. And when she took it for him, listen, my dear friends. Namah Shivaya. Shivaya Namah. Namah Shivaya. Shivaya Namah. Oh. The child takes that glass of milk. And Upamanyu, he starts to drink. And while he's drinking, it doesn't have any taste. How would it taste if you take flour and put it in water and put a bit of grains inside it? How would it taste? Will it taste good? It's not even sweet. It doesn't even have a taste to it. But he drinks it and when he takes a first glance and a first sip, he says, no. I don't think this is what milk is supposed to taste like. I've never tasted it before, but I don't think that child, that cousin of mine was drinking. I'm not getting that feeling. I'm drinking water with something else inside here. And the mother pulls him aside and she says, son, that is milk, drink it. He says, Ma, you cannot fool me. Once Bhagwan Shiva was speaking to Parvati Mata and he says, Devi, I want to tell you a secret about myself. He says, Devi, you know something? If it's one thing I can't stand, is those who speak untruth. And to those who speak truth, I will be there. Lord Shiva says to Parvati Mata, those who speak and live a life of untruth, I will run from that place. I don't even want to be there. I only stick to those whose lives have discipline, who live a good life, who live a life of honesty, and I will make sure they are successful. But where you are not, I will not even go there. One of the secrets of the Kahanis of Bhagwan Shiva, it is said while this child sits there and he looks at his mother, he sees her now trying to fiddle with words. And he says, Ma, tell me the truth. Why don't you want to give me milk? And now she starts to speak to him. Son, let me tell you, we are not fortunate like those who have. We do not have like everybody else. As a matter of fact, it's not about just having, If God blesses you to have, you will have. But how will God bless you to have? Karmic reactions. You do good deeds, and the good you do will come back to you. And if you do bad, bad will come back to you. Son, maybe in our past life, maybe in this life, we didn't live a good life. So you know what? We are not blessed to have it. You only get what you deserve in life. We will only get what we deserve. If life has started for you, if this year has started for you, and you are depressed, and you are crying, and you are disturbed, you are mentally disturbed, you are emotionally broken down, there are situations you don't even know how to encounter. Friends and bhaktas, you are lacking God in your life to make things right. Do something about it. Don't just let it be, but get up and do something about it. She says, son, let me tell you, you know what? We don't have cows. But besides having the cows and having the milk to drink, we are not blessed to have it. Think about this. When you have something, it's a blessing to have what you have. Think about it that way. Lord Shiva says in Mahashiv Puran, through the words of the mother, she's saying, son, we were not blessed to have milk. How many people have clothes here tonight? People have clothes to throw away. People have clothes where they can wear one today and say, you know what, I don't want to wear that for the rest of the week. Or the rest of my life, I don't even want to wear that. I wear that one time and I'm good. I don't know people like that. I don't look at them. It have some people who have probably 100 pairs of shoe, but we can't wear one shoe more than once. After you wear that, we need to get next pair. How many people, my friends, we have and we don't see how lucky we are to have? How many people have food in their fridge rotting? How many people have fruit to just throw away? We pack it up in the fridge and we say, you know what? I'll go eat that tomorrow. Tomorrow come, nah, I feel to eat that. We go eat it the next day. Next day come, we look at it. Boy, we could eat better than that. I never eat no stale food. After 3-4 days, we now take out the same thing to throw it away. We have to throw away. We have an abundance. We have a home. We have shelter. The true wealth of God, when God blesses you, you have wealth, not just money and finance, but you have wealth to have a home. Wealthy means having a home. Wealthy means having a means of transport. Wealthy means being happy. Wealthy means being able to laugh with one another. Wealthy means being a family person and having family around you. But if you sit alone, you have nothing, and you just sit there and you're just waiting for things to come, where is your wealth? A wealthy person is blessed by God to be wealthy. It doesn't happen by guess. If God wants you to have it, you will have it, but you must work to have it as well. Mother says, son, we are not fortunate by the blessings of God to have it. And while she says that to him, he says, Maya, so what do we need to do? What do we need to do to get that milk? Because I want that milk. That thirst for milk is there. That wanting for milk is there. If you really want something, don't you work for it? Do you expect things to just be handed down like you? I always tell devotees, easy come, easy go. Don't just take things that are handed down. Work for what you want. Because when you work for it, it will last longer and will last, my friends, forever. He says, Ma, you know what? It's okay. Think about a child. 4 years old, mother saying, son, understand, we don't have money, we don't have wealth, we don't have milk, we don't have anything. Son, understand now. He says, Ma, don't worry. I will make sure we get. Where is your inspiration to live? Where is your motivation to live? Where is your inspiration to do better? Some people sit down and well, yeah, you know what? What I have is what I have. We will live with that now. For the rest of our life, we will stick at one point, like top and bottom. We will remain right there. We'll look at everybody else. We'll become jealousful. We'll be envious of everybody. But we won't take a move and a stand to say, you know what? I want it too, so let me get up and get moving. Where is your inspiration to live? Friends and bhaktas, that child says, Ma, and he walks up to her and he touches her by the head and he says, Ma, don't worry. Everything will be okay. And the mother's heart, it melts. माता पुत्र से प्यार किया है जितना कौन करेगा इतना, कौन करेगा itna. A mother's heart is filled with tears. How can our child understand? How can my son understand that I can't give to him? People today, does anybody understand? We want it and we want it? No. And if you don't get it, now what? We're ready to turn the whole world upside down. If I do not get what I want, then you know what? I don't care about nobody in the world. I'm ready to destroy the world if I have to, because I want it now. Children are being spoiled today because they're given everything that they want. And the day you can't give it to them, Mommy, I hate you. Daddy, I hate you. Don't talk to me for the rest of my life. Little 5-year-old is telling Mommy and Daddy, I hate you. Can you believe that? Because they have been fed too much, too fast, and too easily. So they don't know how to work hard for anything that they want. In our message, it is said, the son says, Ma, don't worry. I will make sure we have. But Ma, please tell me what to do to clear the karma. If we must have, what to do to clear that karma? And she says, son, let me tell you what to do. You need to pray to Lord Shiva. Ma, Lord Shiva? Who is Lord Shiva? Please explain to me. She says, son, he is the Lord of the universe. He is the Father of the creation. And whatever you want, he will bless you with it. But he is a Lord of discipline. He's a Lord of truth. He's a Lord of goodness. Unlike Bhagavan Shri Krishna, who is compassionate and nice and easygoing, unlike the Lord who has taught us the way of life and how to live every single day, Lord Shiva is stern. When you pray to me, dedicate yourself. When you pray to me, be honest. When you pray to me, simply stand before me and give your 100%. Don't give half. He says, Ma, but how to worship him? And she says, I'll tell you. You need to chant his mantra. He has two beautiful and powerful mantras. Chant his mantra. Trambakam yajamahe sugandhim pushti vardhanam urvarukameva bandhana mrityormukshiya mamrita. Everybody? Trambakam yajamahe sugandhim pushti vardhanam urvarukameva bandhana mrityormukshiya mamritat. Oh, one more time, loudly. Trambakam yajamahe sugandhim pushti vardhanam urvarukameva bandhana mrityormukshiya mamrita. Oh. He says, Ma, you know what? Don't worry. I will go and pray to Lord Shiva. Ma, give me a moment. I will sacrifice. I will take everything that I have and I will sacrifice so we will have. Take everything that you are and everything that you have and sacrifice. That is what a yajna is about. Sacrifice. That is what coming together is all about. That is why people do yajnas and devi yajnas and gyan yagyas and so on. Because sacrifice is what makes everything possible. I've come across people who say, Baba, I didn't even do a prayers in about 10 years now. How do you survive if you don't even thank God every day, every time? How do you survive if you don't thank God for what you have, what you've accomplished, and what He will give you in the future? God will give you more. God will make you prosperous. But when He gives you, give back to Him at the same time. It works both ways. How we say it? One hand, don't clap. You need? Both hands, not so. Take your resources, take your energy, use it for God. This child is 4 years old. He leaves the home. He says, Ma, go into the back of the house. Don't disturb me. And he goes on a little spot in the corner and he clears a spot on the ground. And he says, Ma, you know what? Nobody around. That's a blessing too. When nobody's around, that's a blessing too, because now I will sit down peacefully and I will pray. It is said, my dear Bhaktas, while at that very moment, mother prays for the ancestors and her parents' blessing. Son is outside, he's praying. Bhagavan Shiva notices what is taking place. He's realizing the aura and the energy is surpassing the spot that he's sitting on. So he decides to come up with this plan now. He changes his form and he says, I don't want to go as Lord Shiva. He decides to go as Lord Indra. I will look like you, Lord Indra. And instead of the snap of a finger, he turns into Lord Indra And he goes down to the earth. He decides to walk now on the side of this boy Upamanyu. And when he walks beside him, he stops him. Are, kya hua? Why are you praying like this? What do you want? Why are you praying to God for a boon? Do you want something? And the child opens his eyes. And when he breaks that concentration, he sees an individual standing in front of him. He looks like Lord Indra. The child doesn't know who is Lord Indra, but he looks like a god by the way he's dressed. He puts his hands together and he says, have you come to bless me with milk? Are you Mahadev? He says, no. But why are you praying to Mahadev? Why will you pray to such a God? Look at Mahadev. Do you know anything about Mahadev? Mahadev sits in Kailash Parvat on a mountain. He has snakes around him. Up there is very cold. He has a Ganga flowing from his head. Remember? Juta jata me Ganga dhari Trishula dhari Damaru baja. He sits in Kailash Parvat. He's surrounded by people he don't even know. He's surrounded by spirits. He takes ashes from the grave and he places it on his body. Why are you praying to such a person for? You want milk and you're praying to Lord Shiva for milk? Because he has Nandi, the cow, the bull, you think you'll get milk that way? Don't pray to Lord Shiva, pray to me. I'm Lord Indra. I'm the head of all the gods. And if you pray to me, you will get what you want. This child was taught by his mother to pray to Lord Shiva. He doesn't know better. How many children listen to your mother? Trust in the word of your mother. Trust in the word of your parents because they know what they say. We might think, well, they're out of time sometimes. We might think, well, them back a day, as we say it. Them living in the days. They don't know. But you know what? They would have worked hard and sacrificed hard to be where they are to make you reach where you are. So they know about hardship. And they know how to sacrifice. And they know how to make things possible. And maybe they don't know the entire way of the world, but they know the secrets of passing simple things in the world. Listen to your mother sometimes. All the time rather. Listen to your mother. Listen to your father. Carry out their orders. Don't question them. When mother says, you think you could do that? Well, no. I will do it for you, ma. If this is what you want, I will get it done. Because when you make your gods happy, the gods of the heavens become happy. While it is said, that child, he listens to Lord Indra according to his eyes. He says, listen, with all due respect, if you have come to disrespect Lord Shiva, I don't want to hear it. How many people like comments? How many people like to hear bad talk? How many people like to hear criticism? How many people like to hear, well, you just have to call somebody name. Here is not. You see that man, he name, me want to call name tonight. You just have to hear a name of somebody, and you know what happens? Hey, if I tell you about the right? We just have to hear a name, and we are ready to throw at them. Friends and devotees, a devotee of Lord Shiva doesn't have anything within his heart but love for God. And whatever he does it for goodness and from the goodness of his heart. That child says, whoever you may be, if you've come to test me by speaking ill of Lord Shiva, I do not want to hear it. Please leave from here if you've come with your negative words. This year, my dear friends, take that opportunity. Remember, create a positive aura. Create positiveness within yourself. And that positiveness will bring forth blessings. While that individual will then tell Lord Indra in that form to leave, Bhagwan Shiva, he changes back his form. And he puts his hands together and he says, great one, you're a child, but you're humble. You're unique. And because you're unique, you're praying for milk today. I won't just bless you with normal milk. I'll bless you with the milk of the world. You'll become once more one of the heads of the world, the milky ocean. That beautiful saga, the milk of the universe. And I bless you today that you will rise above it all